Good morning, it's me, Lisa Stone with Parenting Aces, and as promised, another short video, kind of in response to the last video I did, kind of giving my analysis of the Q&A that I did earlier in the week with USTA's Dan Holman. So I wanted to not only give you my analysis of what went wrong with this new platform, but also to offer up some solutions, because I feel like if I just come on here and complain and don't offer up any suggestions for how to fix things, then I'm just as big a part of the problem, right? I've been talking to a lot of you over the last few days, either in person or via email or on the telephone, and I've come up with a couple of things that I think USTA can do right now, in the short term, to get things moving in the right direction before we have this next batch of level 3 and level 1 tournaments coming in May. Because the way the current situation is, kids that have not had their rankings, corrected since the new platform launched are being kept out of tournaments, aren't being able to get in. The wild cards, as promised, aren't being used in the way that we were told they would be used. So what can we do to fix this moving forward? Well, the first thing is more tournaments need to get on the schedule right now. Preferably more level 5, 6, and 7 tournaments. Those 7s, we're hardly seeing any of those on the schedule. Those were supposed to be the entry-level events. We're seeing more level 5 events, but because there are so few level 4 events, kids that really don't belong in level 5s are playing those events, keeping the mid-range ranked kids out of those events and keeping them from moving up through the system. The kids that should be playing level 3, 2, and 1 are populating these level 5 events, dominating the events, not getting great competition, possibly turning off the kids that really do belong in level 5, and creating just a huge issue. So we need to get more of these 5, 6, and 7s on the calendar ASAP. We also need to open up the opportunities to host tournaments, right? We know the sanctioning process takes forever to go through with USTA. USTA needs to put that sanctioning process on hold. They need to evaluate every tournament director that comes to them with a request to host and fast track it and get events on the calendar as soon as possible with as large a draws as is feasible for this facility. Rather than limiting draw sizes across the country, USTA needs to look at the particular venue, the particular section, the particular COVID rules in place, and set draw sizes to suit that individual tournament director's needs. Additionally, entry fees need to be slashed right now, immediately. There is no excuse for a level 5 event to cost in excess of $100. I mean, it's just absurd. So USTA needs to crack down and put limits on the entry fees. And I get it. If you're hosting an event at an indoor facility, it costs you a lot more money. If you're hosting an event with a 32 draw, it's more expensive overall for you to do that than a facility that is hosting a 128 draw. But to have a $100 entry fee for a level 5 event really just makes no sense. And if we are committed to growing tennis here and growing it quickly and taking advantage of the fact that tennis is one of the few activities that anybody can do right now with COVID restrictions, then we need to slash entry fees right away. We also need to look at the current participation numbers, and USTA National needs to evaluate that. If we look at the numbers, the only reason we have more people playing tennis right now is because gyms have closed and people are hungry for a way to exercise, right? It's not necessarily that USTA has done anything special to grow tennis over the last year. So we need to really look at those numbers, figure out what's going on, who's playing, where are they playing, what level are they playing, and use that to inform decisions moving forward. Several of you commented that I've been focused on the older age groups and have neglected the 10 and unders with, the last few things I've done. So I want to just remind everybody that Play Tracker, which is the 10 and under platform, is still not functional. The fact that it's the end of March and it has not been functional since the new platform launched is inexcusable. 10 and under tennis is supposed to be where we, grab kids into the sport. So USTA, if you're watching this, you need to place some emphasis on getting Play Tracker up and running right now. Parents deserve that. They need to know where their kids are. There are very few 10 and under events even on the schedule right now. So USTA, please do something about that. Reach out to tournament directors and encourage them to host these one-day 10 and under events. And let's get these entry-level players engaged. Let's give them opportunities to grow in our sport and to develop a love for our sport. Finally, my last suggestion to USTA is to hire somebody or offer an internship, something to allow you to be more responsive to parents. You've given us an email address to use to file grievances or to let you know when something's incorrect with the rankings or an issue we're having with the new platform. But if you're not responding to us when we reach out to you, that is really useless. It's a waste. So I encourage you to please assign somebody the task of dealing with responding to these requests, responding to these emails, and getting information out. One final thing regarding the level 3s and level 1s coming up in May. My understanding is each section is being left to determine how they are going to decide which players in their section are going to fall into their quota allotment for these events, and each section is doing something different. Some are using UTR, some are using USTA, some are using a combination of the two. Others are going back through and evaluating all of their players manually to figure out which ones deserve these opportunities. So regardless of what your section is doing to determine who gets into these events, I urge you to be transparent about it, to send out communications starting today about which process you're going to use to select players into these events, and get that information out to families and to junior coaches immediately. We only have a month before these tournaments are upon us, and parents deserve to know which selection criteria are going to be used in their section to determine whether or not players get the opportunity to play in either the level 3 or the level 1 event. So please, 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 sections, listen to this, heed it. Your parents are asking, begging, pleading with you to let them know what process you're using. And please don't change midstream. Once you commit to the process and alert your membership that that's what you're doing, that's the process you use. It needs to be transparent. It needs to be clear cut, and you need to communicate it to your families. Those are my suggestions for today. I'm sure I'm going to come up with more as I'm spending time at the Easter Bowl this coming week. But for now, these are some fixes that can be implemented right away as USTA continues to work to fix this mess that is its junior tournament and ranking platform. Thanks.